Where we last left off, the special support section had just been given their first assignment to go into the Geofront and just exterminate the monsters that are causing problems for workers down here, essentially. This time, we'll be actually going through the Geofront. I first wanted to show what it looks like when you rest at these. Screen goes black, little jingle plays, and would you look at that? I have full health and full EP. Note that this game has a high speed mode. I will do my very, very best to not use this during any recordings, and I will save this for off-camera grinding, which, since I'm playing on hard mode, I will let you know I am going to be doing. Just a matter of fact that, as someone who's played this game, there are portions where if you are going through this game without grinding, it becomes much, much more difficult. So, on we go. Would you like to go through the battle tutorial? Sure, I'll show it off. There. The old man wasn't kidding. So that's a monster. That line is very stupid in context. This will be our first combat operation as a team. Let's proceed carefully and strike. Monsters cannot be seen from far away. When close enough, they'll become visible. Initial battle advantage changes depending on how you encounter them. Gain the advantage by sneaking up behind them, but they can do the same to you. When the confirm button is pressed in the field, the lead party member will perform a field attack. It is possible to stun a monster by striking them when they don't see you. If you initiate the encounter while they're stunned, the party will gain an even greater advantage. Press the assign button to attack enemies, in my case X. Attacking from behind will stun enemies, stopping them for a short time. Battles can begin one of four ways depending on the way they were encountered. If you walk into an enemy that you stunned, you will have max advantage. All your characters will attack first, and there's an increased chance of something called a team attack happening. If you just walk into an enemy from behind, you get the advantage. All your characters will strike first. If you walk into them from the front or the side, it's just regular, there's no effect, it's a normal battle. And if an enemy walks into you from behind, they get all the first turns. And then if your level is significantly higher, I want to say it's like 15 levels higher than theirs, your field attacks will instantly defeat them. So, we have to field attack this. I would like to say now, for any opportunity you have Ellie, use her as your lead for fighting monsters. Because this is Lloyd's, and yes, you do have to be that close for it to work. This is Ellie's, and you can be very far for this to work. This is Tio's. Hers is also quite far, and is good for when there's several enemies close by, but it's still just worse than Ellie's. And here's Randy's. Big area, and it pushes enemies back, but it is quite slow and you're locked in place for a while. With Ellie, it's just fire and go. Successful ambush. Already max advantage. AT bar indicates whose turn it is and the order of upcoming turns. It starts from the top and moves down. These icons indicate bonuses allotted to the AT bar order. If a bonus icon appears next to the character's icon, on their turn they will receive that bonus. 10 HP is HP heal. That red thing is Sepith up. Each of the bonuses has a different effect. In this case, critical. Attack. Attack an enemy. The highlighted area is the distance that the character's attacks can reach. Selecting a target in this area will move the character to attack it. When the target is out of range, your cursor will become an X. Selecting an out-of-range target will move the character as close to it as possible, but no attack will be performed. So if there was an enemy in the very back right up there, Lloyd would move as close as he could, so probably like one of the two squares in between these two, and then end his turn. Critical turns. On a critical turn, the character that is attacking will always land a critical hit if their attack connects. And Ellie has a gun, so while she can't move as far, she can reach very far. Tio has a staff, and although they're too far for you to see it now, while her walking distance is small, her range is a little bit bigger to match with it, and her normal attack can hit multiple enemies at once. In this case, I'll just move her a little bit closer, so next time I can use something. And Randy. He can only hit one target at a time, but he can hit for big damage. You won't notice much of a difference right now because you're all low level, but he will be the one doing the most physical damage 9 times out of 10. And here's Tio's. Her normal attack is considered a magic attack for the purposes of enemies and stuff. I believe it is still based off her strength stat, though. So at least they didn't make her useless. Thank God. You notice with Lloyd's attack, now that it isn't a crit, it did like 30 or 40 less damage. With Ellie's, did around 30 less damage. And with Randy, did like 20 less damage. At the end of a battle, you receive a tactical bonus based on how you performed. 7 rushes each time your characters were able to perform 7 actions in a row. First strike is just rewarded for getting the first strike in battle. Unscathed is rewarded for winning. And all of these will be multiplied by a number of times you had them, and then added together to give you your total bonus experience. By default, you will always get 1.00 experience, and this just adds on to it to make you get even more. In my case, we now get 56 experience. Now, this shows you not the total experience you need to gain to get to the next level based off what you have currently, but the next milestone you need to reach. For most of the game, all of these characters will be leveling up at the exact same time, but certain events that take place in the game will give them like 1 or 2 fights difference, and also you'll have to occasionally deal with the fact that someone might die right before you end a fight, and no way you could really do anything about that, so it's like, the experience. After battles, you'll also receive Sepith based off of the enemies you killed. I believe they drop the same amount every time when you beat them, and they have a set amount that they drop that you can check in the notebook, and if not, they drop some amount of it. But you'll notice we killed 2 enemies. We got 6 of the earth, 2 of the water, 4 fire, and then we got no wind, 2 of this black one that's unknown, 4 of this yellow one that's unknown, and 2 of this silver one that's unknown. I'm assuming that if you divide this by 2, you would get the values that it would tell me in the combat notebook, so I can check in a moment. Alright, we did it. Guess the old man wasn't kidding about how weak these things are either. That may be, but at least we learned a little about each of our fighting styles. I was especially surprised by Tio's orbital staff. Yeah, so was I. That's some sort of art you fired off with it? Essentially. Unlike normal arts, there's a chance that my attacks will miss the enemy. However, the energy the staff generates functions as a short-range burst of arts, without the casting time. Nice. You can come up with a bunch of different tactics with something like that on our side. That was the goal for this technology. Also, if I could direct your attention to the breastplate that I'm wearing. This links with the orbital staff system and provides me with a protective field, increasing my defensive capabilities. As such, I'm able to withstand much more than my physique suggests. Should the need arise, I can take the front lines without issue. Incredible! This truly is cutting-edge technology. Might as well take advantage of it, eh? Even so, not really sure if I'm comfortable having a little girl in harm's way. Glare. Never mind. Oof, that's one thing I always hate. When someone means well and says, like, I don't really like this idea, and the person that they are saying it to/about doesn't like that, or like gives them a mean look like Tio did. It's like, they're not trying to be mean. They're trying to be like, is this one gonna be safe? Let's check the combat notebook. We now have the Geofront A sector, and we can see the entry for the Needle Rat. As you fight an enemy, you will learn more information about it, with each kill. In our case, we know that these rats will always have 268 health, and they will always give you 21 experience by default. Experience in this game, very unfortunately, is diminishing. As you get a higher level, enemies will give you less of their total experience value. So, say right now we are at, what, level 3? By the time we are, say, level 7, this enemy will be giving us 1 experience for each copy. Now, this makes normal gameplay not that bad, because you'll be around the level you should be at the whole game. On hard mode, this makes things much more difficult, because there are some fights that are very, very tough. You'll probably go a majority of this game, if you play on hard mode, with regular encounters being a decent breeze. Like, you're not able to turn your brain off, like, completely, but you still can for a lot of them. And then the boss fights and the main story battles be the ones that really challenge you. And Nightmare mode, like I've mentioned before, seriously, don't do it as a first-time playthrough. It'll make you miserable. Nightmare mode will make even that tutorial fight a little annoying. But let's continue our way through the Geofront. Here is a chest. Obtained a tear bomb. Tear bombs are a healing salve prepared by the Septian Church. The Septian Church, again, like I mentioned before, along with Adios, is essentially this game universe's equivalent to a Christian adjacent religion. One of the characters, Lloyd, earlier in the previous episode, mentioned that Tio doesn't even look old enough to be out of Sunday school. That is because Sunday school in this game's world is essentially the only form of kindergarten through high school education. And any education after that comes in the form of essentially trade schools, or like education facilities like the Epstein Foundation. Tear Bomb will restore 500 HP to any target that you use it on. In this case, it's a full heal for anyone. The chest is empty. Ooh, a slime. Huh? What the heck is this? Some blob of glue? I think arts will be more effective than our weapons against these types of monsters. Let's give our enigmas a whirl during this fight, everyone. Yes, good idea. Roger. Some enemies will have a greater resistance to certain types of attacks. In the case of this slime here, it will have more resistance to physical attacks than it will magic attacks. Arts, effective against enemies that are hard to hit and or resist physical attacks. It takes time for arts to be cast, consuming a set amount of EP. All arts are associated with the different elements. Strategically identify which element is the most effective against the enemy. Arts are a magic attack of this game. They, when they are cast, cannot miss at all. So if you cast an art on a highly evasive enemy, it is going to hit them. And, as mentioned, they all have one of the several different elements. In the case of the one we have, Ellie is wind, Randy is fire, Lloyd is earth, and Tio is water. Water and ice are kind of interchangeable, and wind and lightning are also kind of interchangeable. Now, to start with, if I want to cast Sparkle here, you'll see it says I have a delay of 51. On the left-hand side, that shows the turn order. I didn't really explain it then. Anyone who is at the top is the one who is going at that current time, and the people below them are the ones going next. Turn order is incredibly important. You'll notice right now that if I were to attack with Sparkle, and then, let's say, do nothing for the other 3 characters, once they got to the enemy's turn, that symbol that is a heart that says 10 under it would activate at the start of the turn for the enemy. This effect, for example, heals whoever's turn it is by 10% of their max health. So the enemy would heal for 10%. Arts take time to cast. In this case, it takes a delay of 51. If I were to attack, it would give her a delay of 103, which would mean 103 like speed units essentially later, it would be her turn again. With arts, you have the delay both to charge the attack, and you have a subsequent delay after using the attack. So you're trading essentially 2 turns for very big damage. Let's demonstrate it. She'll start charging. And now Lloyd will start charging. Tio is most, as you could probably figure out, she's your designated arts user, given the fact that she uses a staff that can fire them immediately. While she can't use an art immediately, she can do a basic attack. And for Tio, her basic attacks are considered arts. And like she mentioned, the only difference between her basic attack and arts is that hers have the ability to miss. So if you ever need quick magic damage, you can use Tio as a non-elemental magic attack. And even though Randy is the physically attacking member of the team, he still functions pretty good as a spellcaster. So you have Ellie cast Sparkle, just smite them with some lightning, 132, just a little bit more than what Tio did with a regular attack. Lloyd does Stone Spike, 131. Like, seriously, all of these characters can be very good mages if you want them to. See, he did the most, 158. Now, to be fair, enemies will have different efficacies of these. I believe they pronounce it. In the case of this Frost Slime, it is taking 155% of all earth damage, 175% of fire damage, and 145% of wind. The base value for these is 100. At 100%, it will take normal damage. At anything above 100%, it will be taking 100% plus. So in the case of fire, it's taking the equivalent of 75% increased damage from fire. In the case of wind, it's taking 45% increase. I don't have water damage on it, but if I did with Tio, let's say, just cast Icicle Edge on you, it's probably going to be big damage. Frozen Shower. This is an ice elemental creature after all. Look at that. 2 hits and I'm already down to pretty much half. Get a Firebolt? Nah, we can probably just basic attack from here on. 45. See, look how much damage like that still is. Icicle Edge, Freeze, it does 99. Because this thing only takes 100%. So it still takes the full damage, but still nowhere near as much as it would from, say, the other elements. And by holding, in my case, square, because that's what the details button is, I get to see everything I need to about this thing. I get to see what items it can drop, as long as I know them. I get to know information about it, which is just like a little sentence about it, usually. I get to see its level, how much health it has remaining, how much experience it gives me, and then what ailments it's resistant to. We'll attack this one. Man, still wasn't able to kill it. That's unfortunate. Save. Cool. 34. Oh, I think that would kill the other one. Ooh, you saw it drop a chest there. That means at the end of the battle, I'll be getting an item. Sure, I'll demonstrate this. Tear. That is the water spell that Tio also has. At the cost of 10 EP, it is a healing spell. And it healed Lloyd right back to full. Ooh, that one dropped an item too. So we just got 77 experience for everyone. Got some more of those crystals. Got 2 warmers. Warmer, it just cures freeze on a party member. Alright, let's try using crafts against the enemy this time. Combined with our arts, a wide range of tactics are open to us. Yes, let us fight effectively. Looks like it's my time to shine. Trust me, you don't want to miss any of my killer moves. Watch and learn. Try not to hurt yourself. First, I want this. Found Smoke Grenade. Smoke grenades can be used during a battle to instantly escape 100% of the time in battles that are not, like, forced ones. So, a forced battle against random enemies, I think in this game, won't let you escape. And against bosses, doesn't work. But if you're just running through to get to a place, and you get into a fight, and you really don't want to risk, like, running at, like, an 80% thing, you can use it for 100. The chest is empty. Let's try using crafts against the enemy this time. This would be a good way to see what everyone's capable of. I just wanted to show that off real quick. Attack with her, go in. Crafts are character-specific skills, which not only deal damage, but also have a broad range of effects. Using crafts consumes CP, craft points. CP is gradually gained by dealing or receiving damage during battle. Hank! Don't abbreviate craft points, Hank! In the case of Ellie, she's got triple burst. Fires 3 high accuracy shots, concentrate on 1 point. Try it out. 2-3. 117. So that is from a crit. In the case of Tio, analyze. Discover the enemy's vitals, weakening them. This immediately reveals all information about the target. So now we see all of its elemental efficacies, all of its resistances, its total health, the information, the items it can possibly give you, and how much Sepith it will give you after. You might also notice the Def down 3, ADF down 3. That is debuffs. If you've ever played a Persona game or a Shin Megami Tensei game, much like those games, buffs and debuffs are incredibly important. This game, honestly, is what taught me the value of setup moves and debuff moves. Like, I was the type of kid that when I played Pokemon, I had 4 attacking moves. I was like, Swords Dance, who needs this? I got Flame Charge! No, in this game, each buff and debuff for stats has 3 stages, I believe. There's, for buffing your attack, there's like deeper and deeper levels of red until it's like crimson red, and for debuffing, it goes from green down to a dark blue. It's like green, then teal, then dark blue. So right now, that enemy has 25% less defense, and I'll just call it special defense from now on, because that's what it is. It's art defense, but if you think of it as special defense like Pokemon, it'll be much easier. Randy, Power Smash. You pick a target within his range, and Randy will do this. Big hit that can hit multiple people. And you saw that it said AT delay, and then you'll notice all of the enemies had their turns moved down. So now Tio and Ellie will actually be able to get another turn in before the enemies get to. This is because of AT delay. AT delay takes a target and moves it that many units further along the line. An AT delay of something like 1 or 2 doesn't come up much, but AT delay of like 50 or 60 could be incredibly important. Note, this does work against you, and there are some enemies who will abuse AT delay to, say, never let you have another turn once they got a single one. It's all up to RNG, and the attacks do still have to land, but I believe there are... functionally every enemy in this game has one attack that just can't miss. Now let's look at Lloyd. He's got Axle Rush. Also, notice, a regular attack has a delay of 100, a craft has a delay of 116. Crafts will pretty much always have a delay that is higher than a regular attack. The trade-off is you get more power. So you get more power at one time at the cost of, in the future, it's going to be a bit harder to get a turn again. So you got to balance when you want to do big damage with when you just want to get an attack so you can get another one in later. For Axle Rush, runs to a spot, punches, and swirls. And because the defense buff, it's dead. Now, Tio is too far to attack anyone physically, but we see that it'll do full damage anyways, and let's just pick you. So now, even though she's across the map, she can cast magic, because magic can be cast from anywhere. And, fun fact, you can cast magic even if there's no enemy in there. Like, let's say I had a spell that was a line, and I got to choose where the line went. I could cast a spell where no enemy is, and if an enemy ends up there, then they'll take damage. So let's punch. And we can't reach this one, but we can reach this one, so we'll just shoot. Craft points are gotten... Oh, here's Dissonance. It lowers your strength by 50%. Yeah. This... I think it actually is a lower of a random stat by 50%. But yeah, this is the blue I was talking about. So, first area of the game already has an enemy that debuffs your stats to the max. That goes to show you what this game might be like. So, if you want to play this on Nightmare, take this as your warning. You're already going to be dealing with stuff like this early. And you can see all those resistances. And you'll notice that the stat debuffs are on there. Yes, there will, oh trust me, there will be enemies that you cannot debuff. So, be forewarned. We already have this one targeted by Tio. Let's go for an attack. See, he did 41 that time. She casts Icicle Edge and shoots. See, we get 120 experience for that one. And we get some more crystals. I have never seen these bars get full. And truthfully, I have no idea what they mean. I've always just assumed that there is an upper limit for how much you're allowed to get from one enemy in one battle. And I assume this because there are ways of getting more Sepith from enemies. We got 2 Royal Leaf and 2 Milled Flower. Those are just ingredients. So let's see what this room has. Another chest. Obtained Earth Sepith times 20, Water times 20, Fire times 20, Wind times 20. As mentioned earlier, Sepith is used to craft more quartz. We don't have that ability just yet, but it will be great then. Sepith is also the way of getting this game's main form of currency, which is Mira. Currently we have none, and you'll notice that even though we fought 3 enemies, they have not dropped a single dime. That is because Mira is obtained through items, like chests, and selling items, and selling Sepith, which we don't have access to yet. Which means Sepith is what determines how much money you have to buy equipment, and it's what you need to make quartz for your orbments, and it's also what you'll find out is what you'll need to open up the slots to use more orbments. So why they made the most crucial resource be for 3 things at the same time, and you really can't afford to not have any of those things, is beyond me. But oh well. The chest is empty. Ha, got you. You thought we forgot, huh? You see the look on your face. This was something new to me. As someone who started off with cold steel, I would open a chest and not even think to look back at it. And that's because you couldn't. Once you open a chest in the cold steel games, that was it. But, apparently, when these games were initially released, that being the Legend of Heroes games 1 through 5, they were not in English. They were all in Japanese. It was through fan translations that they were made into English. And when they were being translated from Japanese to English, the fan translators at the time put messages like these in the chests. So all across the first 3 games world, the chests there, after you open them, you can talk to them again, and they'd have a special message like this one. I wanted to note that because, as the first 2 said, it just said the chest is empty. I will be doing my best to check every single chest, because there's some incredibly funny ones. Continue on. Damn, this place is just crawling with monsters. Fighting all these pests one by one is going to be a serious pain. We should try using S-Craft to take them out all at once then. The battle shouldn't last long if we use the power of S-Craft and S-Breaks. S-Crafts. Powerful moves that can be performed at the cost of at least 100 craft points. This seems like the perfect opportunity to test them out. My S-Craft can heal us, so don't hesitate to rely on me if you're in trouble. S-Crafts. Much like those orbment recharging stations, they're one of those gameplay things that is also kinda an in-universe thing. The best way I saw to look at it is crafts are just characters' unique moves. Like, oh, I came up with this idea. Like a little kid being like, this is my special move. And S-Crafts are just like, this is my ultimate move. So Ellie saying like, oh, my S-Craft heals is the equivalent of her just saying like, don't worry, I can heal you if needed. There's a bat here. Get behind it and shoot. Run in. So, magically, everyone has 98 craft points. Gee, I wonder why that happened. Let's go punch. S-Breaks. Once a character has 100 or more craft points, an S-Craft can be unleashed at any time, ignoring the turn order. This is called an S-Break. Each character's S-Break can be set to a specific special craft under the status menu. For now, everyone only has one. Triangle plus a direction activates the corresponding S break. If the character's icon becomes crossed out, then you cannot activate their S break. Let's try activating an S break for real. Triangle and the direction activates it. After activating it, it cannot be cancelled. So it's going to force me to use Lloyd here. So this is Lloyd's S-Craft, Tiger Charge. Just runs up, punches, jumps back, and now he does one more like dash punch with like the force of a tiger. With Ellie, it's attack. And with Theo, it's attack. I'll show up Ellie since people are hurt. With Ellie's, she picks one of your teammates, and everyone in a radius around them, she will heal with a magic bullet that rains down healing light. Does this make sense? Not to us, but in universe, they essentially have magic because of these orbments and quartz. Randy. His is like my favorite of the original one. Show his off. Pick an enemy and in a radius around them. Wields the stun halberd, ignites it with a flame from his own burning passion to swing and ignite them all. Big damage. And for that, we all got 139, and everyone levels up. Level 4, level 4, level 4, level 4. This game doesn't show you what stats leveled up when you do level up, but your stats are going up. I think, for now, that's where I'm going to end this one. Next time, we continue on our path to the Geofront A sector to continue exterminating monsters and figuring out what the special support section is actually supposed to be for. See you then. Later.